Hi, Democrats. Today is Tuesday, March 7th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Tuesday. So first of all, I want to remind everyone that today is an election day. Today is an election day. It is 4/17, which means that you have 2 hours and 43 minutes to get to your polling place and vote if you haven't had an opportunity to vote yet. Today, the only thing on your ballot is adult use / recreational marijuana. That is the only thing that is on your ballot. And for the record, I voted yes. I said this before. I've never smoked weed. I have no intention of smoking weed going forward. But what's important to me about this bill are the criminal justice reform measures that are put in the bill. There are people who are languishing in jail and prison right now who are doing things that some folks are doing every day. And for me, if I say that that criminal justice reform is important to me, I have to vote for measures that put that in place. Additionally, there is money identified specifically for education. Do I think that our legislature will somehow muck that up? It's quite possible. But we don't have the choice. We don't have the addition of this revenue without voting yes. So that's where I am. That's where I am with regards to today being election day. So for the last couple of weeks, basically since we have been, I don't know what's happening with my Wi-Fi. I'm not real sure, but since we've been in session, since this session started, which has been, sadly, as Representative Munson pointed out today, 1 month and 1 day, I have been complaining about the things that our legislature has been talking about because I feel neglected. I feel like when they go to the Capitol and they argue over bills, they're not thinking about people like me. They're thinking about people who they want to help, not me. And they're thinking about people who they hate. Right now, I don't think that's me. I'm being left out of that equation, and so many of us are being left out of that equation. So when I say people that they want to help, let's talk about the folks who can afford to send their kids to public school. I have no problem with private school. I have no problem with private school. I just think they should be paid for with private dollars. They're doing everything they can, all kinds of mental gymnastics to justify taking public tax dollars and helping folks who can already afford to send their kids to private schools. They're also trying to help our utility companies. Yesterday, they passed a bill that would exempt utility companies, particularly natural gas, from being charged with price gouging. I don't know about you guys, but my gas bill has been insane, and it feels a little gouging. But they passed a bill that says we're not going to charge the national gas companies with price gouging. It's all about who they are trying to help or who they hate. So when we talk about who they hate, it's a bunch of us, right? Sometimes it feels like they just hate students in general, or particularly students who can't afford to go to private schools. But overwhelmingly, they hate anyone who wants to take charge of who they are. Bodily autonomy somehow offends so many people in our legislature. When I say bodily autonomy, I'm expanding it to reproductive health care, reproductive justice, and gender-affirming care, or folks who identify as LGBTQIA2S+. That whole community somehow offends our legislature, and they spend an inordinate amount of time disavowing that those people have rights, that our neighbors, community, and family members who identify as LGBTQ count and deserve any consideration in our state. So I've been pausing and stalling because I do want to talk about what happened to Rep. Turner today. Last week, there was a fracas where an officer where a voter deliberately splashed water on a highway patrolman. That's who monitors the Capitol. That is not okay. It's not okay. But I understand. When you sit through legislation where folks are trying to erase who you are, trying to deny who you are, and trying to criminalize who you are, I can understand why people snap. That doesn't make it right. I'm just saying that I understand why people snap. It's not okay. So this person threw water on a legislator, and their partner ran and hid in the office of Representative Turner. And Representative Turner did not rush to turn this person in. The outcome was that Representative Turner nor the person who hid in their office were charged with a crime. No one was charged with a crime. And that's really important here. They weren't charged with a crime. But our legislature decided today to make an example of Representative Turner. And they voted to censor them. They voted to keep Representative Turner, who represents nearly 40,000 people, from participating in committees and from being able to vote. This isn't the first time in this 1 month and 1 day that they've deliberately targeted Representative Turner. I don't think I'm telling a secret when I say that Representative Turner is a member of the LGBTQIA2S+ community. But earlier in the session, they devised a way to erase this representative's voices and votes at certain times. And now they figured out a way. And until Representative Turner apologizes, they won't be able to participate in their committees. I listened to the debate today, particularly the debate of Representative Turner. And I won't try to say it word for word because they were pretty darn articulate on their own. They do not need me rephrasing them. But the gist of it, the angering part of it, the injustice of it, is when they recounted what they've endured at the Capitol. It was sort of like They recounted that they get death threats, regular death threats, and some of them are delivered by their colleagues. That when their bills aren't heard, instead of the traditional slash that everybody gets that basically tells them that their bill's not going to be heard, they write across it, kill, and then kill the bill. But they just write across it, kill, and toss it on their desk. Can you imagine you're at work minding your business and you take up a piece of work and it has a gigantic kill written across it? That's what Representative Turner has been dealing with. They've had to be on the floor while their colleagues debate whether their existence is real. There have been other members of the legislature who will not even meet their eye when they pass them in the hallway or when they pass them in the chamber. Members of the legislature has asked Representative Turner about their genitalia. There have been no calls for censure. There have been no calls for decorum. It is business as usual. And Representative Turner stepped up to protect a voter, and they've taken the votes away. I want to be clear. I don't condone breaking the law. I've been doing these lives for 3 years, and for 3 years, I've had to make that statement. I'm not a proponent of breaking the law. I am a proponent of equity. And I mention that because there are two legislators in the same chamber who are awaiting trial for felony charges that get to vote, that get to participate in committees, that no one is trying to keep them from participating, and the people that they represent still are having their voices heard. They've been actually charged. There exist mugshots and fingerprints and the whole 9 yards. They've been charged, yet they get to continue to vote. They get to continue to be on committees. Representative Turner wasn't charged with a crime, yet their committees have been taken away from them until they publicly shame themselves. It's not about the water. It's not even about the black back the blue. It's about one more time taking an opportunity to demean Representative Turner and all that they represent. We can't stand for that. We shouldn't stand for that. There's a representative in the same chamber who's been charged with sexual assault, yet he gets to continue to vote. He gets to participate in committees. There has to be some balance. There has to be some fairness, and someone, and that someone is us, needs to make our voices heard. So I'm asking, call your legislator, be they Democrat, Republican, Libertarian. Well, I guess there are no Libertarian, but call your legislator. Let them know that you do not agree with what happened today. It's not fair, it's not equitable, and it's punitive for just because they can. And then, if that's not enough, and I doubt that it will be, join the Oklahoma Federation of Democratic Women on Advocacy Day on March 23rd. They will be at the Capitol at 9 a.m. on the 5th floor. Orderly, wear your blue, and advocate. Advocate. That is your day. Take your list of things. That is your day to let your voices be heard. And it'll be echoed by all the people who will be at the Capitol letting their voices be heard. We can't let them continue to bully us, because when they bully someone we stand with, they are bullying with us. And I assure you, I stand with Representative Turner. And most people with a conscience stand with Representative Turner. And when we allow that to happen and do nothing, we are condoning it. We are saying that it is okay. So please call your representatives. I know that I've been communicating with representatives ever since the debate happened. But you've got to let your voices be heard, because if they can do it without having to answer to anyone, it will expand. It will expand. First, it'll be Rep. Turner, and then it'll be your rep, and then it'll be my rep, and then it'll be all the reps who they're not friends with. We've got to stop it. It has to stop now. So I encourage you. And this is not an LGBTQ issue. It's not. It is a human being issue. So please call your legislator. Tell them to give Rep. Turner their committees back. That's the plea. Give Rep. Turner their committees back. Barring that, then everyone who's credibly actually charged with a crime needs to have their committee stripped as well. The hypocrisy is confounding. Please, I'm begging you, reach out, be respectful, But when I say be respectful, I don't mean be diminutive. I don't mean be a whisper Democrat. State your piece, but understand that the legislative assistants are just there doing their job. Thank you for joining me. And I'll be back here tomorrow at 4:15.